On the Capitol Watch now, State Superintendent of Public Instruction Sherry Ybarra did her first interview since the $1.1 billion teacher salary budget bill failed last week in a tie vote over a controversial issue. She spoke today with our Doug Petcash. Some Republican lawmakers argued that language should be included in the budget bill to prevent social justice curriculum from being forced onto public school students and teachers. Democrats and other opponents said the concerns about forced social justice curriculum and lesson plans are simply unfounded. In a statement after the vote, Superintendent Ibarra said in part, "Cancel culture and political agendas have no place in our schools. I support the legislature's efforts to put in law what is already a standing practice in our schools." Today, she talked more in depth on the issue in an interview you'll see only on 7. Here is a portion of that.
I just want folks to understand that curriculum is set by the local districts. It is not set by the State Department of Education, of which I run. And I am always going to support the side of local control. I have seen no examples of indoctrination or politically motivated teaching, and no teacher should have to worry about their paycheck while this is being debated, though. But the legislature is a political body, and they do have to take these matters up.
You said in your statement that you support the legislature's efforts to put in law what is already a standing practice in our schools. Does that mean that you support them putting it in writing that social justice curriculum, critical race theory should not be taught in the classrooms, and put that in the budget bill?
Well, and like I said earlier, you know, cancel culture and political agendas have no place in our classrooms. But the legislature is a political body, and we have to recognize that. And they've had several iterations of whatever legislation or wording that's going to come forward. And I have great faith that they are going to come up with something that really supports local control. The other thing is this is already in our Constitution. So I'm not concerned at this point.
One concern we've heard from those opposed to adding that language into the budget bill is that it might confuse teachers about whether they can even discuss current events or issues like social justice for historical context. Do you share that concern, or do you view it differently in the sense that they may not know which way to go in talking about current topics?
Well, again, I'm always going to err on the side of preserving local control. And like I said earlier, we do not and should not dictate curriculum. And I think teachers, as myself, a former teacher, I can speak freely about that. We would know exactly which direction to go. It's already in our Constitution.
Does it concern you that teacher pay has become political in this way?
Well, yeah, I did state that teachers shouldn't have to worry about their paycheck while these politics are being debated. But I do want to send the message out to teachers that this is, those concerns are centered around professional development or training for our teachers. So the concerns around their salary or their paycheck maybe being less, this is really around developing funding for professional development and training.
Lawmakers are still working on the teacher salary budget bill and others regarding education. They have to pass a budget before finishing the session, now 101 days and counting. You can watch Doug's full interview with Superintendent Ybarra this Sunday morning at 6:30 on Viewpoint. They also talked about teacher pay, as you just heard, a federal grant for early childhood education, Ybarra's in-person learning law, and much more. Again, 6:30 this Sunday morning right here on 7.